I live in Lancaster City. 29 years old. Studied at Millersville University. I have a degree in English, Spanish, and early childhood education. My father has cancer right now. My best friend's mother has cancer right now. I didn't know that the SRBC existed at this time last year, but I learned pretty quick.
Yeah, right.
And this summer I went to visit the Saunders and to see what it looks like when you have a methane release valve in your front yard and you have to shower from a water buffalo, which is not an animal, it's a shed that stores a giant plastic water bottle with water that is still questionable. Trust me, still questionable. Julie had a lot go on her plate when we went to see her in June, and she had a couple other questions about how the water was being disposed in her area. And she said there was something called a, what do they call them, truck farms or something down off of 29 and Hunter Road. I want you to go check that out. I want you to see what they're doing. They have all of these trucks parked up there, residual waste, brine, rain for rent. We drive up. We drive to the well pad, and we see them, it's marked, and it says SRBC, and it tells you how much water they're taking, and it tells you where they treat it, and it tells you how it's disposed of, right? And I can call the SRBC. I can walk up to a well pad, and I can call the SRBC, and I can ask them how this wastewater is being treated. And I did this. I called them. And you know what they told me? That they don't know. That they don't know. I taught school. I had 20-some students. And if there was a parent that called me, I needed to know every single detail about that child's medical records and how they were supposed to get picked up after school, or who was their insurance provider. And the SRBC can't tell me how this well pad water is being treated when I call and give them the docket number.
It's kind of hard to follow Sarah's speech there, but the only question I have is, Jesus Christ, guys, can you guys ask yourselves, are you really seriously thinking about passing this along? Really? Really? Because you know what's wrong. You know it. So you know what? Screw you guys. I'm not even going to talk to you. All right? This goes to everybody in this room. Everybody outside of this room. It's past time to stand up and take action. It's past time. These people are doing nothing. They don't care. They don't, they don't give a fuck. They want money. They want money. That's all they want.
Speaker. Thank you very much. Moving on.
It's time to move forward. It's time to take action.
Sir?
I've got 3 minutes.
Sir, the language will not
They
be
don't.
tolerated.
Then I won't say it
Thank you
anymore.
very much.
You're very welcome. I'm
Thank
continuing.
you very much.
They don't
We can
care.
Move on to the next speaker.
So it's time to move forward.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Abby. I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I would just like to say that I think a lot of people here feel deep concern and desperation about our health and our drinking water and our future. And I think that we are all searching for some way to do something to protect ourselves and our loved ones and our future. And I would just like to empower you, the members of the commission, to help us do that. Thank you.
I'm Brian Cronenberg. I didn't realize I had signed up to speak, but I have. Apparently you called my name. I would like to stand in support of the voices that were just spoken here, and I would like to donate the rest of my time to a speaker that needs extra time. Thank you.
For those of you who know me personally, you know my real name, but I'll give it just for the record. My name is Daryl Wayman. I've lived for over 20 years watching and living in this country. And I've seen time after time justice failed. Failed for those that need it the most. failed for those that are struggling to survive. You know the facts, gentlemen and lady. It's time you did something about it. It's your job as public service to protect us all. Justice for all is needed here, and not just for those that act like spoiled children and cry out for money and profit and greed. Justice for all is needed here, for those that suffer and those that will suffer yet. Thank you.
Good day. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Guy Alcenser, and I'm the staff attorney for the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper and director of Stewards of Lower Susquehanna. My organization is specifically dedicated to improving and restoring the ecological integrity of the Susquehanna watershed and the Chesapeake Bay. As noted in our previous comments we've submitted to the Commission, we believe it's critical that the instant rulemaking be based upon a comprehensive, basin-wide understanding of unconventional shale gas development's impacts on water resources and water resources management in the basin, and that such scientific study be conducted and performed and incorporated into rulemaking prior to issuing a final rule. No entity, states, nor the Commission staff has, to our knowledge, conducted any such comprehensive basin-wide study. Such a study is critical now where there is scientific, significant information available corroborating the potentially severe consequences to water resources from shale gas development. In addition to the overwhelming evidence showing the risks of hydraulic fracturing, the Commission's own compact requires it to address significant transboundary threats to water resources and water resources management of the basin, threats exactly like unconventional hydraulic fracturing. We also do not believe current signatory state regulatory mechanisms are adequate to address water quality effects of widespread, ever-increasing shale gas development. Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection's current regulatory programs fail to adequately address potential pollution from gas development such as chemical spills, well blowouts, hydrocarbon processing, landscape transformation, and wastewater transport, storage, and disposal. These controls need to be vetted and proven before we even contemplate more gas development in the basin. The Commission should declare a moratorium pending performance of a comprehensive, science-based study of shale gas impacts to water resources. It should be working with Pennsylvania. It should be working with Pennsylvania and stakeholders in confirming the adequacy, the basic adequacy of Pennsylvania's quality controls prior to implementing a rule. And furthermore, it should await the conclusion of other signatory member states' independent environmental reviews and decisions, or not a decision, to allow shale gas before it implements new rules for natural gas or authorizes further gas development in the basin. Thank you very much for this time.
Hi, my name is William Houston. I work with NIRAD and Shale Shock Media. And I've appeared before this body. I've spoken to them twice before now. And what I've observed is that the same thing as we see today is that score after score of people come up and make passionate pleas against these water withdrawals. And I witnessed in Cooperstown when they last met, I believe, they voted for 22 new water withdrawals unanimously without discussion.
It's been decided.
There wasn't one person in Cooperstown, somebody that was at Cooperstown, correct me, there wasn't one person that spoke in favor of the withdrawals.
Wow.
Except for some industry people maybe, but they were really silent. So I want to try something a little different today. I'm going to do 3 ohms, and I'm going to ask you to do it with me. It's a breathing, it's prana, and it's breathing together. I encourage you to do it with me, so we're going to do it 3 times. There's 4 syllables, ah, o, and a space. And this will bind us together spiritually, and let's imagine that there's going to be something positive that's going to come out of this, that there's going to be a healing, that there's going to be a healing of their hearts. That maybe they will have the courage. Colonel, what do you do? What are you supposed to do if you're given a direct order that's illegal? Okay, I'm going to do 3 ohms. Here we go.
Fill your bank,
May there be a miracle that happens here today. May all beings be happy and be free from suffering. May all beings have access to clean water.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Howe. I am the Conservation Chair for the Pennsylvania Sierra Club. I had the honor and privilege of serving on the Citizens Marcellus Shale Commission recently. This was a commission composed of citizens, environmental groups, civic groups, religious groups. And we held 5 public hearings across the state of Pennsylvania to discuss Marcellus shale's drilling impact on Pennsylvanians. And one of the findings that we came across that no agency was willing to come forward and take a comprehensive look at the impact of Marcellus shale drilling in Pennsylvania. No one wanted to take full count of the air impacts, of the land use impacts, of the water impacts. And I think this is appropriate here because we believe that the Susquehanna River Basin Commission should take a time out and reassess its mandate and its role in protecting the water quality in the Susquehanna River Basin. From the evidence that we have seen, the Commission has not taken a comprehensive look at Marcellus shale drilling. And we believe that the Commission should declare a moratorium on future water withdrawals until it takes the needed study. Now the Commission says it wants to defer to its member states on water quality, but the current the Pennsylvania regulations do not adequately address the potential for pollution from chemical spills, fuel spills, well blowouts, processing activities, pipeline development, or improper construction and operation of wells. Indeed, the state DEP recently advised its oil and gas technical advisory committee that it's just now considering adopting policies on containment measures at well pads, and that it's just now considering whether it should adopt a policy on surface spills. Well, the lack of such policies gives us no confidence that the water is being handled in a way that it's being properly isolated from the Susquehanna River. So we think a moratorium for water withdrawals is fully warranted at this time. Thank you.
Hi. Actually, one thing I'd request before I start is at 2.5 minutes, can you let me know? Actually, the thing that I wanted to start with is the first thing that early on someone, for one of the first speakers, was saying that they had not done recent water testing. This is something that I consider a big concern because before we even start doing the drilling, before they started spreading brine on our roads, this should have been done so that we could have proved how clean our water is or was before they started. In addition, these wastewater treatment plants, at least in New York State, are being planned on brownfield sites. Once again, making it difficult to prove where the contamination came from, and I don't think that's an accident. In Texas, the state of Texas was fudging their water records for 20 years. This came out in a newspaper article probably about a year ago. In Shenango County, where I live, they were using Upstate Labs, which was recently, actually not recently now, but at the time I first heard about this, was raided by the EPA upon a complaint that they were fudging their records on radiation levels. And Shenango County was using this lab to do their the testing of drill cuttings, which ended up being buried on the Davisville property in the town of Smyrna, and I think it was 20 to 25 tons. This stuff is, it's frightening, and you know, I mean, before this all came about, like so many others, I expected our government would protect us, and I feel like I was totally naive in that. I don't know, I mean, I always felt safe in that my government would protect me. The DEC was there to protect me. The Attorney General would be there to protect those who are being abused legally, having our rights taken away from us. This water belongs to all of us. It's a basic human right. Amen. And you're selling it as a commodity to these gas companies, and that just isn't right. They're going to take that water, they're ruining it, and then in addition, they're also bringing up brine. More polluted water. So, and it's no wonder we're having flooding issues, because we have all this contaminant, this water that they're taking, this clean water, clean, fresh, pure water, destroying it, turning it into poison, and then they're also bringing up brine when they're drilling. So we have a massive amount of polluted water to flood us with.
That's 2:30.
I just wanted to conclude by saying I would really like to ask all the people on the commission, anyone that's here that's within the government, whether it's from the clerk right on up to the top, please, become a whistleblower. We need you. You have the information. And I understand that doing such a thing is difficult. Don't permit become a whistleblower. Don't permit these water withdrawals. And I understand you're risking your jobs, but please, there's people depending on you. Lives are at stake, and not just our lives currently, but in future generations. Thank you.
I'm Rima Loeb from Acton, New York, and I'm humbled by what I've heard today. You people who spoke, you should be the leaders. I've heard the health, the science, the caring, the future, the voices for the future. We're not going to be here forever. We've got to start thinking about not just our children, but their children and their children. This is all wrong and it's all insane. And sometimes I feel like, the inmates are running the asylum. No, your folks are under order, no doubt. And I'm sorry for that, and I do hope that you have the courage to take a stand, to do what you know in your heart is right. We need to be operating not under acceptable risk, because it's when your child has cancer, or your parent has cancer, or endocrine disruption, or all of the horrible illnesses that this industry brings about. And there is proof, and there's plenty of it. When that happens and it's one of yours, you'll understand. This is murder. It's wrong. Letting this water go for uses that once it's gone, you don't question. Would you sell guns to a foreign nation that you knew would want to do you in? Would you do that? I want to ask you one more thing. Our bodies are at least 70% water. People, respect yourselves.
Marge Laughlin, Sellersville, Pennsylvania, private citizen. Thank you very, very much for allowing us to come here and talk with you. And thank all of you for coming out. This shows that there is a unity in what is going on in this world. In 1947, when they first started fracking, they used napalm and hydraulic fluid and 750 gallons of water per well. This is documented. You can check that out. They received a 90% increase in yield over a conventional well using this. Well, the napalm and the hydraulic fluids, I think you're very much aware of its toxicity. It's like pablum compared to what is being used today. Okay, the tanks, the holding tanks that they're putting them in are about 3 football fields big. That's huge. And they fill them with a backflow. They are waiting for the next flood, which devastated the area already. But can you imagine all of those toxic chemicals in these tanks getting into your drinking water, as horrible as it is? Well, if you can't, let me paint it this way. Imagine all the flushings of your toilet in open tanks the size of 3 football fields, just waiting for the rain to fill your rivers. Would you stand by and do nothing? Would you vote to allow the organizations that are doing the drilling to do things in this manner of business? I think your decision is a very, very tough one if you're really considering the pressures behind you. Don't allow any money, political influence, or anything else sway you in what is right. You're hearing a lot of bleeding people today pleading with you. Please don't vote to allow them to withdraw the water. Well, my question for you, is it right to allow this to happen before they put into practice a way to protect the people? We really need that in place first. France decided that they would not allow fracking there. I'm sure that we can at least match their intellect. We really need to. In the words of Irene Dukakis in Moonstruck, she simply said, "Don't shit where you eat."
I beg your pardon. I'm Judith Joy Ross. I was born in Hazleton. I have loved Pennsylvania my whole life. I'm heartbroken over this, so I take pictures to keep me from falling to pieces. I want the first gentleman with the checked shirt who gave a long lecture to understand, I think it was checked, a brown shirt, that Bill McKibben wrote a book that he could read. That would be helpful. It's called Earth, E-A-A-R-T-H. Yes. He knows how to spell. He put 2 A's in it because Earth has changed forever. And I would recommend the officials here read this book and inform yourself of why the climate has already changed and why we had these terrible floods. Because I'm too much of an idiot, I can't explain this stuff. My heart is broken over the human continual need to go forward. I feel bad for the gentlemen in their suits who are sitting so quietly while their hard work is being insulted, and it's right to insult it. But we're not. Thank you. I am so against this fracking. I can't tell you, and so I make pictures instead. Thank you. Please read Earth.